Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wachowski, Wolk. Madam President, we are absent a quorum.
The Secretary notices the absence of a quorum. Will all senators please report to the Senate floor for the beginning of today's session? Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Hueso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wachowski, Wolk.
The Secretary recognizes that a quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We will be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Sister Michelle Gorman, after which please remain standing and will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Leyva.
As we center ourselves in God's presence, we pray. Gracious and ever-loving God, we come before you with fragile lives, with dreams, hearts, and bodies too often broken. What can we believe except that you will not despise our broken hearts? What can we believe except that only what is first broken, like bread, can be shared? God of mercy, help our unbelief, that we may have the courage to love the enemies we have the integrity to make, that we may have the courage to continue beyond our little prayers and careful creeds, to bring forth the just and beloved society that is within our capacity to create. We trust in your unfailing help. Amen.
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Happy Monday, colleagues. We'll begin with privileges of the floor. Senator Pan, you'll be recognized at Senator De Leon's desk. Senator Pan.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I am pleased to present to you our honorees for API Heritage Month. They were recognized earlier on the Assembly floor, but I felt it be appropriate for us to also recognize them here in the Senate. And so let me just have, so first of all, for excellence in civil rights, I wish to note that was Larry Ittelong, who is a prominent leader in one of the greatest social justice movements in the United States, the American Farm Labor Movement. This is a posthumous awardee. Mr. Ittelong was outreach to Cesar Chavez to form a coalition now evolved into the United Farm Workers of America. Mr. Ittelong passed away in 1977 at the age of 63, leaving behind his wife and 7 children. His son, Johnny Ittelong, is here on his behalf. There we go. We also want to recognize the excellence in journalism, K.W. Lee, who became the first Asian immigrant hired by a mainstream daily newspaper when he reported for the Kingsport Times and News in Tennessee and the Charleston Gazette in West Virginia. Mr. Lee. There we go. Also want to recognize Charles Phan, who's the award-winning executive chef and owner of San Francisco's The Slanted Door and 6 other restaurants. He's considered to be the inventor of modern Vietnamese cuisine in the United States. So that was excellence in culinary arts. Also to recognize excellence in education is Harry T. Yang, who's named as UC Santa Barbara's 5th chancellor in 1994. He was formerly a Neil A. Armstrong Distinguished Professor of Aeronautics and Astronautics at Purdue University, where he served as the Dean of Engineering for 10 years. And since my father was also an aeronautics engineer, it's particularly special for me to recognize someone in that background. And finally, excellence in law was Erica Yu, who was appointed to the Santa Clara County Superior Court in October 2nd, 2001. Judge Yu is the first Asian American female to serve on this bench, where she currently serves in the civil division of the court. So again, these are our API Heritage Month honorees for 2015, and I'd appreciate that we give them a warm Senate greeting. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome to the California State Senate. Colleagues, if you're going to take a picture, if you could turn around and get ready. Ms. Shelley is primed and ready. Thank you very much, Senator Pan. Continuing with privileges of the floor, Senator Hall will be recognized at Senator De Leon's desk. Senator Hall.
Yes. Madam President and members, as the representative of the 35th Senate District and a native Compton resident, I am pleased to welcome and present a fellow Compton native, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, as the 35th Senate District's generational icon. In less than 10 years as a professional artist, Mr. Lamar has gone from a local Compton young boy to become a multi-platinum, Billboard chart-topping, two-time Grammy award-winning musician. An incredible achievement for anyone 27 years old. But Mr. Lamar has not let his recent fame get the best of him. If you visit Compton, and I would encourage all of my colleagues to do so, Mr. Lamar is a familiar face in the neighborhood. Senator Jackson, giving back to his community that raised him. He has personally donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to support sports programs, after-school programs, music programs in the Compton Unified School District to help keep Compton students off the streets and in the classroom. Through his work with his own nonprofit organization and other organizations such as Habitat for Humanity, Mr. Lamar is not only giving voice to a new generation of urban youth, he is demonstrating the best of what it means to work hard, do well, and give back to his community. Indeed, Mr. Lamar is working hard and doing well. His story is indeed a uniquely California one, and a story that should encourage others to accomplish their goals and give back to their community. Members and staff are welcome to a limited opportunity to have photos taken with Mr. Lamar today in room 211 upon adjournment. Senators, it is indeed an honor and a privilege to award Mr. Kendrick Lamar the 35th Senate District's Generational Icon Award and present him to this wonderful esteemed body of the California State Senate, the 7th largest economy in the world, the great golden state of opportunity where everything is possible, even from a young man from the great city of Compton. Ladies and gentlemen, senators, please welcome Kendrick Lamar.
How you doing? First off, I want to say how everybody doing. Are you good? It's definitely a honor to be right here in front of you guys. Being from the city of Compton and knowing the parks that I played at and the neighborhoods, and I always thought of the opportunity, how great the opportunity would be to give back to my community off what I do in music. So in order to do that from a city all the way to a state standpoint, and had these young kids look at me as some type of inspiration, it's really an honor, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for honoring me today. Thank you.
Welcome to the State Senate. Mr. Lamar, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Senator Hall. Thank you. Colleagues, moving on from privileges of the floor to messages from the governor. They'll be deemed read. Messages from the Assembly will be deemed read. Reports of committee will be deemed read and amendments adopted. Motions, resolutions, and notices. There are floor amendments at the desk, and they will be deemed adopted.
Can I make an introduction?
We're going to go back to privileges of the floor and recognize Senator Hernandez. Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, I have an introduction with me this afternoon. It's a very special guest. This is my oldest daughter, Valerie. She's here with me today, and she is going to be spending the afternoon with me. She not only is my office manager, runs our family businesses, has 3 beautiful children, which are my grandchildren, and is also elected to the City Council for the City of La Puente, and is just recently elected as Mayor Pro Tem for the City of La Puente, and is going to be here tomorrow for the Hope Conference all day. So my daughter, Valerie Munoz.
Welcome, Councilwoman. Thank you for joining us today. Colleagues, seeing no other privileges of the floor, we will proceed to consideration of the daily file. Second reading file. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 789 with amendments, Senate Bill 433, and Senate Bill 620.
Thank you. Proceeding to Senate third reading. We're going to start with file item 28. We're going to start where we left off on Thursday, colleagues, so everyone will have the opportunity to get through a first pass on their bills. Starting with file item 28, Senate Bill 445. Senator Liu is not at her desk. File item 29, Senate Bill 490. Senator Bell, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 490 by Senator Bell, an act relating to developmental services.
Senator Bell.
Madam President, members, it's my pleasure to present SB 490. This is regarding Developmental Disabilities Services community audits. I present this bill on behalf of myself and the senator from Diamond Bar. SB 490 promotes audit uniformity for vendors working with the developmentally disabled. Specifically, this bill adjusts the financial thresholds for fiscal audits and reviews, clarifies that only monies paid for by the regional centers can be counted towards the threshold, making it consistent with standard auditing practices for federal monies, and allows vendors whose audits demonstrate that they are in compliance to get an audit waiver for 2 years. Now, in 2011, in the Budget Developmental Services Trailer Bill, SB 74, it included a provision intended to save over $20 million annually through increased accountability in audits. Now, to date, as of today, none of the audits have resulted in any kind of savings. With the average cost of $10,000 per audit, full compliance is estimated to cost vendors $57 million. This is money that could have been spent on direct client services for the developmentally disabled. Thus, we've introduced SB 490 to create uniformity with state requirements for nonprofits and reduce the financial burden for the vendors with clean audits. And I'm happy to author this with Senator from Diamond Bar and urge your support for this bill. Thank you.
Any discussion or debate? Any discussion or debate? Senator Bell, would you like to close?
Thank you. Be happy to have your vote on this item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Anderson. Bates. I. Bell. I. Berryhill. Block. I. Cannella. I. De Leon. Fuller. I. Gaines. Galgiani. I. Hall. I. Hancock. I, Hernandez. I, Hertzberg. I, Hill. I, Hueso. Huff. I, Jackson. I, Lara. I, Leno. I, Leyva. I, Liu. McGuire. I, Mendoza. I, Mitchell. I, Monning. I, Morlock. I, Morrell. I, Wynn. I, Nilsson. I, Pan. I, Pavley. I, Roth. I, Runner. I, Stone. I, Vidak. I, Wachowski. I, Wolk. Wolk, aye. Wesso, aye. Gaines, aye.
Call the absent members.
Allen. I, Anderson. Berryhill. I, De Leon. Liu.
Ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 30, Senate Bill 540. Senator Hertzberg. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 540 by Senator Hertzberg, an act relating to taxation.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. SB 540 is requested by the Franchise Tax Board to continue an existing program that protects our taxpayers. The taxpayer advocate, quite frankly, members, returns taxpayer penalties and fees that occurs because of administrative mistakes. Oh my God, the government makes mistakes and it's going to make sure it gets its money back. That's a great thing. The program sunsets this year. 540 makes it permanent. And ladies and gentlemen, as part of my close, all I want to say is that per the Department of Finance, this bill will result in cost savings, Mr. Budget Chair, to the people of California. I respectfully ask for your aye votes.
Is there any discussion and debate on this measure? Discussion or debate? Seeing none, is there any objection to the use of a previous unanimous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 31, Senate Bill 580, Senator Liu, not at her desk. File item 32, Senate Bill 667, Senator Jackson, pass on file. File item 33, Senate Bill 697, Senator Hertzberg. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 697 by Senator Hertzberg, an act relating to public utilities.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. SB 697 follows on Senator Hill's measure that made a correction in limo registration by eliminating a long-time requirement for specialized license plates. There were some unintended side effects of that measure. Decals requires that haven't been used in years happen to be reactivated. This measure eliminates that outdated requirement and saves thousands of dollars in anticipated costs. It was on consent in the Energy Committee and passed Appropriations Committee unanimously. Asked for your support of this measure.
Any discussion or debate on Senate Bill 697? Discussion or debate? Seeing none, any objection to the use of a previous roll call? Seeing none, ayes 36, no 0. The measure passes. File item 34, Senate Bill 739. Senator Pavley. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 739 by Senator Pavley, an act relating to charter schools.
Senator Pavley.
Yes, members, this bill passed out of Senate Education on a 7-to-1 vote with some bipartisan support. This bill takes a step towards resolving ongoing questions about charter schools, locations, and governance. It was brought to my attention and is sponsored by the 5 local school districts of the Santa Clarita Valley. This bill would prohibit school districts who have a negative certification from authorizing charter schools outside of their own district's geographical boundaries. This does not apply to a school district authorizing charters within their district. Some of you know from last year there were a real problem with a few school districts authorizing without the permission of the out-of-district location of the charter from that school district. They never got permission from it. Well, what was happening is some charters were trying, and some school districts were trying to use this as a revenue generating scheme, because for each charter you authorize, you get a certain percentage of money as operational kinds of expenses. Keep in mind, other school districts were never allowed to vote or permitted the use of the location of this out-of-district charter. So collecting oversight fees, as we know, as a way of financial distress is not good policy and does not serve the students well, particularly when the district may not have the capacity to do proper oversight in districts miles and miles away. This problem isn't just about Santa Clarita. It's about other school districts who have also reported out-of-district charters being located within their boundaries. LA Unified School District has had a problem. Culver City has. San Diego Unified School District is supportive of this measure because they have had a problem. I want to make it clear, this bill has nothing to do with discouraging charter schools, but rather just seeks to ensure proper oversight of California's public charter schools. I ask for your aye vote on this measure. It doesn't impose any new costs or requirements on school districts.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Is there any discussion and debate on this measure? Any discussion or debate? Mr. Secretary, Senator Pavley, any close?
Ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen. Aye. Anderson. Bates. No. Bell. Aye. Berryhill. No. Block. Aye. Cannella. De Leon. Fuller. Gaines. Galgiani. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hancock. Aye. Hernandez. Aye. Hertzberg. Aye. Hill. Aye. Hueso. Aye. Huff. No. Jackson. Aye. Lara. Aye. Leno. Aye. Leva. Aye. Liu. McGuire. Aye. Mendoza. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Monning. Aye. Morlock. No. Morrell. No. Wynn. No. Nielsen. No. Pan. Aye. Pavley. Aye. Roth. Aye. Runner. No. Stone. No. Vidak. No. Wachowski. Aye. Wolk. Wolk, aye. Gaines, no.
Call the absent members, please.
Anderson. Cannella. De Leon. Fuller.
Ayes 23, noes 11. The measure passes.